My name is Nathan Clements-Gillespie. I'm the director of Frieze Masters, and it is a pleasure to be here today for our inaugural conversations on patronage on Instagram Live. And we are joined today by Simon de Pury and Patrizia Sandretto Rebaudengo. So without further ado, I will hand over to Simon, who will be interviewing Patrizia, founder and president of the Fondazione Sandretto Rebaudengo. Thank you, and over to you, Simon and Patrizia.
Thank you so much, Nathan. It is a real pleasure to participate in this Frieze Instagram Live conversation about patronage. And it is a particular pleasure for me to be able to speak to Patrizia Sandretto Rebaudengo. I've been a huge admirer of you for many years now, and you are one of the greatest dynamos in the art world. And I would love to ask you, basically, when did you start your foundation and what moved you to get going?
Yes, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good day. So first of all, Nathan, thank you for inviting me to this conversation. And thank you, Simone. I'm so happy to have this great opportunity to see all of you. Grazie, grazie, grazie. So we don't have a lot of time, so I just started. I just want to introduce briefly myself, and I grew up among all painting and antiques. But in 1992, during a journey in London, I discovered contemporary art. That trip to London was fundamental. I visited many museums, galleries, but above all, I started to get to know the artists, to visit their studios, and to establish a relation with many of them. Really, meeting the artist opened up a new world for me, and in this way I started collecting art. At the same time, the desire to share my collection, to support young artists, and the lack of institutions and public museums dedicated to contemporary art in Italy led me in 1995 to establish the Fondazione Sandretto Rebaudengo. And the Fondazione is a no-profit institution which organizes exhibitions, we produce new works, and we do a lot of different programs. And we have two spaces, two venues. One is in Guarene. In 1997, we opened in Guarene Palazzo Rebaudengo. Guarene, it's a small village nested among the hills on the Langhe-Roero, home of the white truffle, Barolo, Barbaresco wines, but also UNESCO World Heritage Site. And Palazzo Rebaudengo is an historical 18th century mansion that we adapted, we start to use as an exhibition spaces for contemporary art. In Guarene, we do a lot of activity. In Guarene, we have residencies for curators, for artists. But for me, what was really, really important at a certain moment in my life was to have a space in Torino. And it's for that finally in 2002, in September 2002, we opened our headquarters, our space in Torino. It's a space of around 4,000 square meters that I think that in square feet should be something like 40,000 square feet. Is a center obviously for contemporary art, and is a new museum in a neighborhood that bears witness to the city's industrial past and its transformations. And the building that used to be a factory for car rims stands just in front of a public garden in a nice area, very worker area, and just in front of this garden, it is a very simple, linear, minimal, flexible structure that give us the opportunity to work with our artists, to have a space in which they can do what they want. And in this building, we have a space of over 16,000 square feet, I think, for exhibition, but we have a bookshop, we have an auditorium, we have an educational room, we have a cafeteria designed by Rudolf Stingel, and our Michelin star restaurant. And this is our center. This is the second of our center. And we also have another project connected to venue, to space, that is in Guarene, coming back to Guarene. We started some years ago, in 2019, to work on a hill. It's called San Licerio Hill. It's a small hill on which in 2019 we started to invite artists to create, to realize big sculpture. In fact, we call that is our sculpture park. And we started in 2019 with an artist from Canada, with Paul Gill, and then we did other projects. And last project we just inaugurated 1 month ago in October with Marguerite Dumont. It's a fantastic big sculpture just in the middle of the vineyard. And because this, we produce also some wine, Nebbiolo wine, and so we have some rosé wine that we produce just for us and for our friends. And then, yes, this is a place in which people can come. It's obviously free. People can come, can visit the nature, can see the sculpture. And then even in this space, we try to pay attention to ecology, to sustainability. And in fact, we decided to planting over 3,000 small trees, and these trees help us, first of all, to the consolidation of the land, but also to the safety of the exhibition path, and also to sequester the excess of CO2 present in the area, in the air. So this is another project for us important to put together nature and art.
Well, you've just confirmed, Patrizia, that you are the ultimate dynamo. I love your energy and your commitment to the arts and your commitment to beauty, because you mentioned culture, your commitment to the environment, you mentioned sustainability, which is of course also a reflection of the fact that your husband Agostino has been involved in for many, many years. Business is completely based on sustainability. And then what is extraordinary, I've been to Guarene on the occasion of the 30th birthday of your son Eugenio, and your son Emilio cooked a meal which was entirely done with truffles, because as you've said, Guarene is the truffle paradise. And you've added a dimension to that. And so it's wonderful to see that your two sons, Eugenio and Emilio, your passions for art and also gastronomy live on. And if you could define yourself with one single word, what word would you take to define yourself?
To define myself, oh my God, this is a very interesting question. May I say that every work of my collection for me are so important. It's like to ask which of the work, which of your son do you prefer? So it's not easy to answer to that. But if I have to say which are the work that I can define myself, first of all, it have to be a work by women, because a part of my collection is devoted to women. And from the beginning, I decided to buy female works, because I really believe that for me it's so interesting, no? Also for me to see their work, to understand what is their work and what they are thinking about life, about issue, about social, and so on. And so for that, for example, in 2004, here in the Fondazione, we spent 1 year inviting only female artists to show their work. And so if I have to say work very close to me, I can start from work like Carorama artist. That Carorama is an artist from my city. Carorama was born in Torino. In 2004, we dedicated a special exhibition to her. To arrive to the young artists that are in my collection, for example, I'm very close to Alicia Quode, that she's doing amazing big sculpture, and that really open give the possibility to everybody to be involved, to be part of the sculpture, not only to see a work. And then I can arrive to the young generation of painters. Now, for example, in Torino, in the Fondazione, we have a fantastic exhibition with 13 young, not young, I mean, female artists. We have artists, very, very, very young, like every singer and so on, and artists older than are around 80 and so on. So I really believe that it's difficult to say an artist, but I really believe that female artists are so important in my life. think myself as part of their work and my work.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because indeed you've been championing the work done by women long before the art world and the art market in particular finally woke up to that and tried to adjust and correct this complete lack of balance that there was, and this injustice that there was for many years. Also, you are donating every year the prize to an outstanding female philanthropist or artist. And this is possibly one of the most important prizes given. In fact, you said all of these wonderful things simply because of my lousy pronunciation. I wanted to know if there was a word, not a work, that defined you. So if you could say one single word, I don't know how you say it in Italiano.
Una parola che ti definisca.
Quale?
Not a word. Oh my God, a word I can say. I'm very curious, curiosity,
Patrizia,
passion and curiosity maybe. Passion because I cannot imagine my life without my passion because things that I like. At the same time, maybe a curiosity, because I think that without curiosity, I couldn't do what I did. I couldn't, because, for example, I love a lot collecting, but I don't like only collecting art. I also love collecting American costume jewelry. And this is thanks to my curiosity that I, for example, discovered the fantastic work of the American costume jewelry. And so, yes, I think to be a very curious person, I think to be a person that I think that it's important not only to talk so much, but also to listen to. And I have to say that through the artist, when I start collecting artists of my same age. So I used to say that my collection was generational. Now, for example, I pay attention to artists that have the same age of my sons. And so this means that I have to be really open to understand what they want to let me know, open to listen to them, to pay attention to their work. So yes, if you say word, I can imagine, if you talk about word, I can imagine curiosity, passion, and determination. How do you say in English determination? Because I think that is so important to go ahead, to be not to, even if sometimes it's not easy, obviously, but it's so important to go ahead. Can you imagine that we start to work on this space in Torino after few days that we open just the work, we have to close because people living in this area, they say, we don't want that you come here to do your museum, because they didn't understand what does it mean to have a museum. And instead we fight, we did all what there was to do, and finally after 2 years the museum was open. So I mean, needs to really believe, and I think that art is a fantastic tool to be much more determined to go ahead and to live with my artists, to live with curators, with director of museum, with gallerists, with people like you is really something so important for me, and really help me to do what I'm doing every day with passion. For example, in Fondazione, we had a lot of kids that come every day. We're around 30,000 students a year. And it's so fantastic, you know, in the morning, see the kids, the students moving and visiting the space and understand what is art. And so this gives me a good energy. And when I see all these kids, I think it's fantastic. All my dreams are realized, you know? So
you are fantastic. And apologies for,
yes,
Simon, so sorry. I think you're just conscious of time. I wish we could continue the conversation all day, but I think we might have time for one more question, Simon.
Right. Anyway, I was happy to hear you. If I had to define you, I would have said just one single word is passion, because you communicate it so well, and it is truly wonderful. My last question is, what is your sign of zodiac? That only will need a short answer.
Taurus. I'm a Taurus. I'm a Taurus. I'm very. They say that generally Taurus are also very possessive, no? They want to possess. It's not the truth, because, for example, I like all my work of art, but I also like to share with friends, with my visitors. So I don't know, but yes, I'm a Taurus. And you, Simone?
No, I'm a Scorpio. But anyway, thank you.
Oh, Scorpion, wow, my son Eugenio is a Scorpion. I have to say that, wow, yes, it's a good, you are very strong, you are very determined, yes, but not so bad. And you, Nathan?
I'm Pisces.
Like my husband. So I know you so well both. Yes, through the horoscope. Yes.
I'm bad for Nathan because we've went way above the time, but it was such a pleasure to speak to you, Patrizia, and thank you, Nathan, for making it all possible.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Patrizia. And next time we speak, but next time we see each other, you'll have to tell us more about the amazing project in Venice, where you are really bringing the Sandretto and the Rebaudengo together fully by merging art and sustainability. So we'll have to leave that for a future conversation.
Absolutely, because it's a great project for us that put together my husband and me, and will be a project on a small island between Murano and Burano, and will be a great occasion for artists, scientists, researchers to work together. At the same time, will be our home, and so our home. So I really hope to welcome all of you soon in San Giacomo, in Palludo, and to visit our small island and our big project.
Bene. Thank you both so very much for your time, and thank you to all of the many people who have joined us for this conversation on patronage. Thank you all. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Ciao.